Ahoy mateys! Welcome back to the channel. For today's story, we be heading over to the mystical land o' Middle-earth, where the goblins be stealing from the pirates. Aye, that'd be right. Our story begins with a band of goblins sneaking aboard the ship. The infamous Captain Bloodworm. See? These goblins? They weren't your ordinary run-of-the-mill goblins? No. Sir, these goblins, they were special. They were led by one particularly nasty piece of work named Snargle, who had a particular fondness for shiny objects. And what's more, they were all armed to the teeth with swords and bows and even a few pistols, which they'd stolen from unsuspecting travelers along their journey to the sea. As for Captain Bloodworm, he was a fearsome pirate, known throughout the seven seas for his cruelty and his greed. His ship, the Crimson Fang, was filled to the brim with treasure, and he wasn't afraid to use it to get what he wanted. But there were rumors that the captain had stolen something from someone he probably shouldn't have, and that someone was none other than the Balrog of Moria himself, Durin's Bane, the Lord of the Naz. Now, the details of this tale are a bit murky, but it's said that the captain had stolen Durin's Bane's favorite hat, a simple yet elegant black fedora, and replaced it with a cheap knockoff. Well, Durin's Bane wasn't too pleased about this, and he sent his 9 Nazgul servants to retrieve his property. But the servants, or Nazg, as they were more commonly known, couldn't just storm the ship and take what they wanted. No, they had to be sneaky about it, like ninjas in the night. So they waited until the ship had docked in the port city of Bree, and then they snuck aboard while the crew was sleeping off their latest plunder. The Naz were big, even bigger than the goblins, really, and they moved with a grace and precision that was truly terrifying. They made quick work of the guards, taking them out one by one without a sound, and before long they had reached the captain's cabin. But they didn't find the hat they were looking for. In fact, they found something much more interesting. A whole horde of goblins fast asleep in the very same cabin. It seems that Snargle and his merry band had snuck aboard the ship earlier that night to do a bit of stealing themselves, but they hadn't gotten very far. As it turned out, Snargle was no match for the Naz, and soon enough, he and his men were tied up and gagged, left with nothing but their undies on their backs. And now you're probably wondering, what did the Nazgul do with these goblins? Well, some say they tossed them into the sea, leaving them to the mercy of the waves. Others say they took them back to Mordor, where they were never seen again. But there's one story that I like the best. You see, when the sun began to rise, the goblins were let go and Snargle was given a choice. He could either lead the Naz to the captain, or he could keep the treasure he'd already stolen and become the new captain of the Crimson Fang. Now, Snargle wasn't a fool. He knew that if he chose the first option, he and his men would be the ones swinging from the rigging by morning. So he chose the second option, and he became the captain of the Crimson Fang. Aye, that be right! The goblins were now running the seas, plundering and pillaging as they pleased, all thanks to the stupidity of one nasty piece of goblin work. And as for the black fedora, well, it was never seen again, or at least that's what they all said. But there's a rumor, just a rumor, mind you, that Snargle eventually sold the hat to a second-hand dealer in the Shire, and that Bilbo Baggins was the one who bought it. But that's just a silly hobbit hole fantasy, or is it? Who knows? Now, since we've plundered and pillaged our way to the end of our tale, it's time to set sail for home. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Goblins steal from pirates. If they did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, so they don't miss out on any of our future tales. And remember, keep an eye out for those pesky goblins, even if ye be sailing to Hyseas, for who can tell where their little ships may pop up from next. Until next time, mi hearties, we bid thee all a fond farewell.